Next time you're at work from 9 to 5 wishing you were home doing literally anything else, I want you to remember that there is an 11-year-old out there whose net worth is roughly $100 million, and they earned that by doing nothing but playing with and opening toys on YouTube. Now get back to work. If you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, I'm referring to the YouTube channel Ryan's World, previously known as Ryan's Toy Review. This channel was created by Ryan's parents when Ryan was only 3.5 years old. It featured Ryan, reviewing toys. Since then, it has exploded in popularity with kids with over 30 million subscribers and 53 billion video views. And don't even get me started on Ryan's World as Spaniel. Their content has evolved a bit past just playing with toys, but not by much. Also, did you know that Ryan has 2 younger twin sisters that also appear in videos? Because this was news to me while writing the script. Of course, this channel has its haters and valid criticisms. A lot of people are worried about Ryan's work schedule and whether or not his parents are forcing him to work against his will. This is always a concern when it comes to child actors. It's hard to tell if the parents are just exploiting their kids for monetary value, or if the kids really want to be doing what they're doing. And for Ryan's case, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. There's no proof of any exploitation, and he seems happy. But of course, that's also not proof of anything. So let me know your thoughts on the matter. But did you know his mom was arrested 20 years ago for shoplifting clothes and then didn't partake in her community service? So clearly she's a bad parent. Yes, that really happened. And so many people use that as a point against her and their entire channel, which I hate. I don't think if you mess up like that as an 18-year-old, it should define your character 20 years later. However, in 2019, their channel did face legal trouble for not disclosing their sponsored videos properly to their child audience, which is a serious crime that could have ended up with both of their parents in jail. But nothing really happened, and luckily it's blown over now. Regardless of how you feel about their channel, they've made 5 video games, and I played them all. Oh, didn't see you there. Hey, guess what? I'm a gamer. Don't believe me? Mario. Okay, now that I've proven my credentials to you, let me tell you about these video games made for children. You see, I really wanted to dig deep in this video and review a bunch of games made by these YouTubers targeted at kids. But then I realized that was literally my last video. But there are more video games I could be talking about. For example, there's this Vlad and Nikki mobile game. But be honest with me, do you even care? Have you ever even heard of these kids until right now? Do you even care about this hub/mobile game app of theirs? The one that has a coloring book that excludes the color black for some reason. Do you even care that I have a bright green truck on my hands because of this? Great, now my boy Josh even thinks it's ugly. Do you even care about this minigame where Vlad says, "Nick, we need more candies," and then Nick says, "Way too many candies"? Like, which is it? Do we not have enough, or do we need more candy? Also, that's the incorrect spelling of 2. And do you even care that the minigame is just tapping this pumpkin until eyeballs come out? And do you even care that 90% of the content on this app is locked behind a $30 a year paywall called a Fun Pass? Or how about the fact that this game immediately prompts you to buy it after opening the app for the first time? They're taking advantage of the kids and their need for fun. Don't even get me started on the Grumpy Cat game. It's amazing. Yeah, anyway, I didn't think you'd care. That's why I'm only talking about Ryan. Alright, back to you. This mad lad, entrepreneur, business tycoon, independent, hardworking, blue-collared, yellow-collared 11-year-old has 5 different video games to his name, along with a bunch of other merchandise, but that's for another video. His first game is Tag with Ryan, second is Race with Ryan, third is Super Spy Ryan, fourth is Ryan's Dirt Tag, the last and most likely least is Ryan's Rescue Squad. We're going down this rabbit hole in order, starting with Tag with Ryan. This is a mobile running game where Ryan runs from Combo the panda so he does not get tagged. Combo, of course, is a reoccurring panda character in Ryan's videos, but I'm guessing that you already knew that. So this game looks and controls fine. There's also power-ups and costumes, of course. However, the voice lines do get annoying quickly, and I don't think Ryan knows how tag works. So he's playing tag with Combo, and that's why Spy Ryan is running away, so Combo is it, right? Combo is the tagger, and if you mess up, Combo will tag you. Well, if you run long enough, you'll be able to tag this crocodile character named Gus, despite Ryan not being the one who's it. This isn't how tag works, which really bothers me for some reason, and I do admit this is dumb. Tagging Gus is just how you unlock more cosmetics, and I really should not be mad at a game called Tag with Ryan, but I am. Another critique I have is that the game is way too easy. I know what audience this game is meant for, don't remind me. But honestly, this game has no end goal and is endless. So this feels more like an endurance game than anything else. Like, how long am I willing to play this mindless game for? It's actually kind of torture at a certain point. And guess what? Every single time you die, you have the option to watch an ad to continue running. So as far as I can tell, you can actually play this game endlessly, making it a real endurance test. Hey, Mr. Beast, I got a new video idea for you. Last person to quit Tag with Ryan wins $1 million. Feel free to use it, but I better be competing in that one. Also, probably about 75% of the time, the ads are for more Ryan's World's products. Yeah, they're literally plugging their own merch into the game, which is probably why they let you continuously watch these ads. By the way, if you ever see any egg in any of these games, which you will, well, that's because Ryan sells a bunch of toys inside these eggs. So it's basically a product placement every time you see one in one of these games. Now, if you excuse me, I got some reading to catch up on. Oh, Mario, you're so crazy. Yeah, Mario sure is a wild one with all of the Koopas he stomps. Anyway, real quick, follow my Twitter and subscribe. My goal is to pass Ryan's World in subscribers by 2023. This is the new PewDiePie versus T-Series. But hurry up, we'll be cutting it very, very close. I mean, look at the time. Wait. What time is it? It's time to race with Ryan. Also, if you never knew what the poster behind me in all of my videos were, it's Hank the Space Chimp. I actually asked you guys to name him a while back, so everyone say hi to Hank in the comments. By the way, Race with Ryan is freaking awful. By the way, I want to say thank you to Game Pass for just having this game so I didn't have to spend $30 on the game and its 3 DLCs. So yeah, it's a racing game. You can either pick your track to race on or do career mode to earn trophies and unlock stuff. So that's what I did, and I played on hard mode because I thought, how hard can this be? If only I knew. So I didn't regret that choice because I had a hard time keeping up with the competitors. I regretted it because the camera is so goddamn close to your characters. It is so difficult to figure out where you're going at max speed if you don't have the maps memorized. And guess what? I don't have the maps memorized. Like, look at the camera comparison with Mario Kart. This is just too much. Not to mention a cardboard cutout of Ryan will constantly pop up on the screen to say something annoying and to block more of the race. Also, look how big this font is. It's even harder to see when you use or have an item. Push the camera out for God's sake. Anyway, once I got used to the cameras, I was able to steamroll the competition. I remained in first place almost the entire time for every race I played. I found drifting to be difficult for some reason, so I didn't even try to drift most of the time, which resulted in me continuously bumping into walls and tight corners, but this did not seem to ruin my chances at staying in first place at almost any point. I will say the maps themselves are not bad at all, with a bunch of branching paths. However, they do start to blend together and feel samey to me. If you showed me a random track, I don't know if I could confidently tell you whether or not I actually played on it. And I played this game yesterday. Oh, Hank, did you want to say something?
Keelvin, você precisa achar o Ryan World. Ele abriu a câmara de segredos.
Yeah, you've always been a pretty wise chimp. The next 2 games are complete ass and almost not worth talking about, but I'm gonna do it anyway. We're gonna start with Super Spy Ryan. It opens with this fully animated cutscene, which is kind of cool, but we'll never see this again in a Ryan game. So anyway, blah blah blah, plot plot plot, I didn't pay attention. This game's concept is alright. Your goal is to have the most toys on you by the end of the match, and you get toys by finding them around the arena and searching in chests. But be careful, as you have to hide from and or attack the NPCs and other players if they get too close to you, or else you will lose all of your toys. It is very punishing. By the way, this game is actually online. I originally didn't believe that fact, since I've seen other mobile games try to trick you into thinking it's online when it's really not. But at one point, a match of mine ended early, and my only guess for why that is someone had connection issues. There's 2 modes you can play in the game: team and free-for-all. In my team matches, matches, I was consistently carrying the team. When I lost all of my toys, my team's meter went down to almost 0. And the first time I played free-for-all, I got 48 toys and second place had 12. Moving on. Dirt Tag with Ryan is the most forgettable game. It's this endless rail shooter that's ungodly easy. There's not much else to talk about. It's hard to tell by looking, but not all of the Nerf bullets the enemies shoot at you are actually harmful. Only some are. The game does make it clear on which are harmful and which are not harmful, but so much of what is going on is just irrelevant. So while playing this game, I would just forget that I even needed to dodge sometimes. And those were the only times I ever got hit. This is, again, an endurance game because it is just that easy. Easy like your mom. Remember when I was revealing the games to you in this video and then I said, the last and most likely least is Ryan's Rescue Squad. Well, that's what I like to call foreshadowing. Yeah, Ryan's Rescue Squad is the worst out of all of his games, which is sad considering we have seen some trash today. This game starts with Ryan and his friends getting isekai'd into this new world. In this world, evil Ryan and his 2 minions want to take over the Ryan World's YouTube channel and teach their evil ways to thousands of people. Evil Ryan is probably also an Andrew Tate stan. Most cutscenes in this game are just in this comic book style, which makes me ask, what happened to the animation? They only made animated cutscenes for one game and one game only, which is weird because that game is free and I paid $40 for this one. Also, during these cutscenes, they show this button you can press to skip these cutscenes, but it doesn't actually work and there is no way to skip these cutscenes. So there's 4 worlds in this game with at least 5 levels in each world with a bonus level. You start off in this green hill zone, I don't know what else to call it. You can run, double jump, kick through obstacles and ground pound. There's also these little circular things you can collect and throw at people. In other words, this is a Yoshi game, but worse. They didn't even give Ryan an animation to throw the ball, but he's clearly drawn to be throwing it in the tutorial. Like, how lazy is that? In the next world, they introduce barrels, so this game becomes a Donkey Kong and Yoshi ripoff. That world's theme is even pirates, for crying out loud. Like, at least try to hide your intentions. I'm not saying this game can include things that are also in a Mario game. At this point, I think that would be impossible for a platformer to do. However, this game just never expands upon anything or does anything original. This is the perfect example of a lazy and bare bones platformer. Like, there's gimmicks in this game just to have gimmicks. Like, there's this dinosaur that you have to play as in some levels, and that dinosaur is so slow, boring, and adds no unique gameplay whatsoever. So why is it here? Is it just to make the kids go, dinosaur, dinosaur? That was so goddamn cringy. I'm sorry. Yes, there are secrets in this game, but they're never challenging to find. These secrets do unlock bonus levels and cosmetics, but I'm sorry, I really enjoy playing as Ryan with jaundice, so I didn't care to collect them. I know some of you are saying, this is just a kid's game. Well, shut the fuck up before I make you. I love Nintendo and do not think of them as a developer who exclusively makes games for kids. Like, give any kid a Donkey Kong Country game, they are going to suffer. Those games are brutal, but I do consider most of Yoshi's games for kids since they're so goddamn easy. However, those games are still fun. They will introduce new mechanics and expand upon them in creative ways. Secrets are able to be well hidden and actually require some thought to find. Not to mention, they're all charming as fuck, and I really want that giant yarn Yoshi amiibo. Why don't I have that already? Ryan's Rescue Squad is simply generic in every aspect and requires no skill to play. Like, there's probably about 4 different enemies in the game, and they just reskin them for different worlds. And some mechanics that could have been interesting are just barely even used. For example, there is almost no point where it's necessary to throw the ball, aside from the bosses. But speaking of the bosses, they're the worst part of the game. The 3 bosses are essentially the same exact goddamn boss fight, and the 4th boss is just an easy boss rush of all 3 of the previous bosses. And did I mention you can essentially go AFK for most of these boss fights? The way you hurt these bosses is by jumping on their head when they come down. But if you jump on the sides of the ship and not directly in the middle, you will hurt the boss and yourself. My first time fighting any of these bosses, I did that for all 3 of my hits and had no idea what I was doing wrong. On my 3rd hit, I killed the boss but died at the exact same time. But the game instantly went into this loading screen and then showed the boss's opening cutscene. At first I thought I beat him and I was reading the cutscene very confused, like, didn't this already happen? And then the fight starts again and I realize, oh, But how do I kill him? And it just took me so long to realize my problem. This game gives no feedback whatsoever. It was a nightmare. However, there was one thing keeping me going. You see, I bought this game on Steam, and if you buy a game on Steam but return it before you've played 2 hours of the game, you're able to get a full refund, getting all of your money back. So, I made that my goal. I speedran this entire game and beat it in 1 hour and 46 minutes. However, in the middle of my game, I closed it. I hit quits to go eat dinner and hang out with my roommates. However, instead of actually closing the application, the game just minimized itself and proceeded to stay open for another 2 hours, meaning I can no longer get a refund for this game. If you think I'm lying, the recording is right here. I have the proof. You know what? Forget Ryan versus Keelvin's world. How about hashtag give Keelvin back his 40 bucks, Ryan? I better see that trending on Twitter and in the comments of this video.
I just realized it's my fault because I hit Alt-Tab to stop OBS's recording. I still want my money back, Ryan.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Personally, I am satisfied with the state of this series where I look at YouTuber games, so I am done adding to it for now. I really appreciate the support on this series, and I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday.